Once upon a time, a city boy named Peter and a city girl named Felicity bought an abandoned 1830s farmhouse in New York and renovated it such that it was once again livable. Welcome back, friends. It is the end of our second, technically third weekend in the house. It feels like 2 weeks. It's been a little over 2 weeks. A lot has happened in the last couple of weeks, and I want to catch you up on that. First, though, I want to say thank you for everybody who said that it was okay to stop and take a break and rest. I definitely did that after we moved in. So we spent 3 days moving in. We spent a couple of days getting the house organized such that we could live in it. And then I just stopped doing anything around the house for about 5 days. It drove Peter a little bit nuts because he wanted to do something every day, but I just needed to take a little bit of a break and some downtime. However, since it is a brand new to us house and we have all of our stuff here, of course, that didn't last for long. I have a lot of updates to give you guys today. The first update I want to give you is about the fridge. We did finally solve our fridge situation, which has made our living circumstances oh so much better. We have also both solved and discovered new problems in the bathroom, so we're going to get into all of that. We unboxed the dishwasher. The treadmill finally moved upstairs. I'm going to give you some updates on Mr. Darcy, both because he's cute and because he is also an integral part of adjusting to the new house. And then we're going to end with some firsts. We were very lucky to have our first package delivery the first week we were here, as well as our first snowfall and our first glorious sunset. So let's start with the most practically helpful for us, which is solving our fridge problem. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It's a momentous day. So this is the fridge we brought with us from Tulsa. Unfortunately, the fridge part of the fridge doesn't fridge. It doesn't get cold. And we could have had somebody come out and take a look and see if it could be repaired. Since we're this far out in the country, most service repair calls are $100 to $200 just to come out. And then if they could have fixed it with what we had, that would have been fine. But if it needed new parts, honestly, it was easier to get a new fridge. And as it happens, Peter's friends have a fridge available to us. So let's take a look at our new fridge. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see it against the glare, but here's our new fridge. And here is the extra muscle has arrived on the sexy motorcycle to help move it in. So it is 10:30 at night. By all rights, I should be going to bed. I've had my dinner. I've had my time watching Monty Don on YouTube. But the fridge needs to be cleaned before we can turn it on. It needs to be vacuumed. It needs to be swabbed down so we can leave it open for a few hours to let the worst of the fumes come off, and then Peter can plug it in before he goes to bed. So surely, she says, famous last words, surely it can't take more than an hour to clean it? Okay, so here she is, our newly wiped down fridge. She wasn't terrible, but she definitely needed another wipe down. Hopefully letting it air out will help some of the smell go away. I suspect we'll need some baking soda packs in here regardless, but this feels good. This feels really good. I was thinking as I was scrubbing how I had envisioned doing this with the fridge that was here when we moved in, and how ironic that I'm doing it not with the fridge we brought with us all the way from Tulsa, but a new fridge that was gifted us by Peter's very kind friends. Thank you again, Nick and Jen. We are really, really appreciative. Fridge that fridges! Peter's making faces at me. These are the things that we triumph in, and I'll have you know we have all the essential food groups: milk, cider, pickles, cat food, and yogurt. I mean, really, what else do you need in a fridge? How perfectly civilized to go into the fridge for the child's breakfast wet food and not have to walk upstairs to the little fridge in Peter's office. Sometimes it truly is the little things in life that make such a difference. Peter, would you like to demonstrate your gloriousness? So we couldn't find another shelf that went with the unit, so Peter had a piece of lumber cut, and then that was last weekend, but we didn't get the supports brackets for it because we didn't know what we needed. So Peter just got back from his trip to Lowe's, and we now have an extra shelf, which is great because we had a bunch of stuff that needed a home. So we still have just a very little storage in here. It's not a lot, but it is way better now with our extra shelf. We are thinking that we would like to get ideally it would be a holster for the brushes. If we can't find one, because that's a little bit weird, we might just get a toothbrush holster over here instead, and that would free up one more shelf. But this is the stuff that we need. This is like the everyday stuff. At some point, we'll need to paint it black to match the rest of the fixture, but we don't actually currently have any black paint. So I expect that will be when we have black paint, we will paint that black project. One of the problems we identified in our first week of living with the house is that there is an awful smell that comes out of this sink, and we were able to ask James about it. This is the only sink or drain in the house that doesn't have the U-shaped pipe in it. The purpose of having that bend in the pipe is to prevent smells from coming up through the system. This one does not have it because there's obviously no room in the pedestal to do that, and James did not initially put one underneath. And so all of the smells from our plumbing system come up through the sink. I worked in catering when I was in college, and at the end of an event, we used to have a slop bucket that we'd pour all of the half-finished beverages into, and that particular smell of coffee, wine, orange juice, whatever was available was a really potent smell. This is not quite the same because we're not putting those same ingredients down it, but that's what the smell reminds me of. Happily, that's an easy fix. We just need to put one of those U-shaped pipes somewhere in the plumbing before that line for the sink meets the rest of the main artery. So that is a project on James's to-do list. I also didn't film it, but James did fix the leak around the base of the shower. So he put some extra sealant in there so our shower base is no longer leaking. It does still need to be leveled. Actually, leveled is not the right word. It still needs to be shimmed so that the entire base directs water to go down the drain. Right now, at the end of a shower, there's a lot of water sitting around the front of the shower base because it's not graded appropriately. So that's on James's list. And then the other thing that's still on James's list for the bathroom is to replace the shower head, because one of the reasons the shower is still a little bit leaking is that shower head is pointing directly towards the door, which, as it turns out, is against code and against best practice. So we've actually bought an overhead rain shower head. So we'll come up from the side of the wall, like so. Instead of having the water come down like this, the shower head will actually go up and over so that the water comes down like this. And that both of those things are on James's to-do list and something we're hoping to get done in the next couple of weeks. In addition to solving problems with the fridge and the bathroom, Mr. Darcy has also more or less been getting acclimatized. It's a process. So after lying in bed for a couple of hours and laying on my legs and just having a lovely, relaxing morning, we got up and came out into the hallway, and look, a present. A fish-shaped present. How very kind. That was very sweet of you, Darcy. Indeed it was. Would you like some breakfast? It is March 5th, our 5th morning in the house, and I have finally given Mr. Darcy some catnip, which is what you see there. We put it in a box, which we call his drug box, and he loves to roll around in it. Now, the thing about Mr. Darcy is that you have to give him a lot of catnip, because if you don't, if you only give him some catnip, he runs around the house in a mad frenzy and is very playfully, not aggressive, but just like, yeah, very, very interested in playing and not a great judge of where his limbs and claws are. So this is something he really, really loves. You have to give him basically a handful. I mean, a whole handful. And then he gets nice and stoned and playful. And since we've had a little trouble playing in the morning, I thought that this might get him going. Good morning, friends. It is Thursday, March 6th. It's our 6th morning in the house, and this is a really good sign. Darcy has been off his wet food since we moved, which has been the case every time we have moved him in the last year. When I came down this morning, both his wet food and his dry food bowl were empty for the first time since we moved here, and this is the first time that he's taken me over to his food dish and had me watch him while he eats, which is something we used to do every morning in the rental house. So good signs that he is finally settling in and maybe returning to normal. I see Darcy brought us another present. It's 6:15 in the evening of March 10th. We had people here today working on the house. James and his crew were working on the house, which means that Mr. Darcy was hiding most of the day, and he has just come out for some love. And this is both super cute and a little bit sad. This is his I'm totally wiped and I need some love. Let me just drape myself all over you. And he is currently getting all that love in Peter's lap. It is our 4th morning in the house, and today's adventure is to see if the dishwasher works. Now it's been installed, it's been plugged in. As you can see, our contractor pretty much left the unboxing to us, so I'm going to go ahead and take off all of the packaging materials and all of the various bits of cardboard and etc. And I'm really excited about the dishwasher because it has this silverware tray up top. Now this sounds a little weird, and if you had said to me a few years ago I was going to get really excited about dishwashers, I would have been like, you're crazy. But my friend Evelyn has a really cool dishwasher with a silverware tray on the top, and I just thought it was such a great idea because although there is one down here, we can take that out completely, and then you have 2 entirely full racks to play Tetris with, and you can put all the silverware up here, which I just thought was absolutely brilliant. And it's also big enough to be able to put like serving spoons and stuff. So yes, super excited about this. I like efficiency. And to me, that just seemed a very efficient model, especially because you're often not using that space right up there in a traditional dishwasher. So as you can see, we have amassed several dishes in our tenure here, and it is time to fill this thing up and give it a whirl. Happily, the dishwasher did work the first time out, which, hallelujah, especially because we had some trouble getting it installed. So that was very exciting. Another exciting development is that when James's crew was here on March 10th, they were finally able to move the treadmill from the downstairs room to my office. And so here is a clip of them doing what Peter and I probably could have done on our own, but definitely did not want to attempt. See? Easy as pie.
Yeah.
Because you were the one who's getting bodybuilder workout, right? I mean, this is part of part of your regimen.
Oh yeah.
I was sitting in my office. I heard a sound outside. I looked out the window to see our mail carrier's Jeep in the driveway, and then I saw the package at the end of our boardwalk, and I thought, Well, how interesting. When the ground was not as mushy, she was leaving them by the front door. But we've had a couple of instances in the last couple of months with the ground being so muddy that she's just left them at the post office. We have a package, so hooray. To end this video, I want to leave you with two beautiful pieces of nature footage. One of them is from the second Saturday that we woke up the house. We had our first substantive snowfall while living in the house, and it was absolutely glorious. And the final clip is our first beautiful sunset. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.